I'm Carla Reeves, and this is Differently. Whether you feel stuck in survival, navigating a change, or seeking more for your life, may this podcast be your weekly nudge to take a risk to build a life that is uniquely bold, authentic, and in alignment with your deepest values. After a decade of coaching individuals from corporate leaders to creative artists to multi-million-dollar CEOs, I'm convinced we are far closer than we realize to what we deeply desire, and it's a willingness to do differently that can change everything. Hey, Differently listener, thank you for tuning in. Today's episode is near and dear to my heart because I have seen the impact in my own life and in the lives of dear loved ones and clients. A noisy, untamed brain can literally wreak havoc in our lives, from our health to our most important relationships to our performance on the job, and it can feel out of our control. But I have good news. It's the one thing within our control, and taking some small steps to regain control of your mind has far-reaching impact into all of the areas of your life. Did you hear that? Instead of addressing all the different areas of your life that might feel overwhelming and need attention, you can focus on calming your mind and managing the traffic in your head, and this will impact everything over time. In today's episode, we are going to raise your awareness to your own thinking, give you some ways to calm the mental noise on your own, and talk about the ripple impact this can have in your day and your life. I'm a fellow high and hyper achiever and a creative, and my brain is super busy. I've been practicing care and cultivation of my mind for nearly 2 decades and helping others do the same. In fact, I've recently set out to realize some bigger dreams in my heart, which has heightened the mental noise over the last few months. And this is to be expected, by the way, when you are taking a leap, when you're doing something that matters, or you're leveling up the way you are currently playing in your business or your life. In fact, Elizabeth Gilbert talks about the mind and fear and the creative journey and how fear and doubt are to be expected. We need to be equipped to acknowledge it, but not let it derail our creative dreams. Having a hyperactive mind and lots of noise doesn't mean you aren't supposed to do the thing in front of you or move ahead on your goal. It doesn't mean you aren't cut out for it, but it is an invitation and an opportunity to get yourself equipped to calm your mind. Knowing how to do this helps you walk through the challenges of life without the mind making things heavier, scarier, and more overwhelming than they are. In other words, we all carry a load, but the heavy is in your head. We can't always change or control the load or the circumstance, but we can manage the heavy. Mental noise refers to the constant stream of thoughts, worries, and distractions that clutter the mind. For high achievers, mental noise can be particularly overwhelming and disruptive. It often shows up as self-doubt, anxiety, and inability to focus. And while it might feel scary or overwhelming to even look more closely at your thinking, it's actually quite the opposite. When we don't look or examine what's happening in our head, we let our thoughts bully us around. They're just thoughts after all. You don't have to believe everything you think. Some of the wisest words I heard years ago. Like clouds passing by in the sky, you get to choose which thoughts you give power to. And by raising your awareness to the mental traffic in your mind, you then have a choice as to what you're going to continue to allow to hang out in the environment of your mind. You live with it 24/7. What if you made it your mission to make this a calm, supporting, loving environment? So let's talk about some strategies for calming the mental noise. I want you to watch your mind as I even share these things. Be the observer. What's it saying? Is it saying things like, I don't have time, I have too much to do, this all sounds great, but great for you. I can't do this. This is where the work begins. I want you to notice and challenge what your mind is saying. So here's some strategies. And these are not new things. They're things that you've heard of, but I'm going to talk about one that is most important for calming the mind. So simple, conscious breathing throughout the day. So simple, yet so powerful to just stop and pay attention to your breath and get out of your head. Move your body. A short or long walk does wonders. Step outside to have lunch instead of doing it at your desk. Sit under a tree. Spend less time looking at your phone and more time looking at your loved ones, or reading a few pages of something that nurtures your mind and the kind of thoughts you want to have. Practice daily prayer or meditation to cultivate a sense of inner calm and clarity. And last but not least, raise your awareness to your thinking. I want you to become the observer of your mind. Tend your mind. Take responsibility for cultivating a thought life that you want to accompany you in whatever challenges you face or endeavor you are pursuing. This is the root. A noisy mind is a mind unattended or cared for. Journaling, as you know, is a huge part of the work I do with clients. There are a number of episodes on this powerful tool that I will link in the show notes. Empty your thoughts in a journal. Then you have an opportunity to really look and observe and weed out outdated thoughts and beliefs, challenge them, get some help from somebody to help you challenge them, and then begin to plant new thoughts that align with what you want. Let's talk now about some of the benefits and the ripple impact calming your mind has in your life. By committing to this one responsibility, you're going to notice changes throughout your day. And here are some ways it changes mine. When I commit to taking care of this one thing, my mind, here's how it changes my day. Perspective about what's important. Because I've emptied the noise and cleared the cobwebs of my mind, which sometimes can form overnight, I can then see the noise for what it is and more clearly what I need to focus on for the day. Number 2, presence. I know you see this like I do, and I'm guilty of it too, but often we're so lost in our mind that we're missing the moment right in front of us. When you've taken the time to take care of your mind and calm that noise, you can be more present. Tending my mind in the morning, even for 5 or 10 minutes, allows me to be more present. It allows me to prepare and start my day so I can jump 2 feet in and actually hear what my husband is saying instead of thinking about my to-do list or that thing I was stewing about. It helps me jump in to support my clients, connect with my boys, or pour myself into that important project or to-do list. Number 3, it supports me in my business and life in taking the next courageous step. When I allow the noise of my mind to run me, it causes me to doubt, stall, cower, or delay. When my thought life is cared for, I can lean into truth and confidence and take the next step in the face of fear or doubt of the mind. Number 4, relationships. It supports me around this because if I don't take care of my mind, stories start spinning and then I start reacting to those stories, and they often cause separation or wanting to pull away from relationships. This is a big one because my mind is very capable of fabricating narratives and stories that are not real and true. Things like, if I haven't heard from somebody in a while, my brain will start to think, why are you always the one that has to reach out in that relationship? Maybe the relationship isn't as important to them as it is to you. And I then make that lack of communication mean things that it doesn't mean. Or when I have a hard conversation that I need to have, and if I let my brain run too long and ruminate on it, it makes that conversation a way bigger, scarier deal than it needs to be. And often writing for 5 minutes to clear my head, I can get super clear about what is noise and what I actually need to communicate. And then I can show up with love and have a much better conversation that wasn't near as scary as my mind told me it would be. That happened to me just last week with a conversation I needed to have with my designer. In summary, taking care of your thought life, learning to calm your mind will increase not only calm and peace in your life, but presence, focus, clarity, and your overall well-being over time. Remember, it's a practice, not a perfect. Think small and simple steps. So let's talk about some small, simple steps. Don't take my word for it. Try it for a week and see what happens. To get started, commit to 5 or 10 minutes of journaling each day. Empty your mind of the thoughts. And then ask yourself, where do I want to focus today? What is the most important thing for today? And how do I want to show up? Declare it. Go on with your day and come back tomorrow. At the end of the week, I want you to take an inventory. How did it go? What did you notice? Did it feel different to live in your mind? Notice any small, subtle changes. If this feels overwhelming or hard, know that you can reach out. I help clients with this very thing. This is the very first part of our foundational work. And I can be very objective to help you sort through your thinking so that you can begin to build this muscle on your own. Some of the things that clients have said over the years, one client said the deep dive journaling was immensely helpful to get a lot of stuff out of my head. Carla was a steady anchor and gave me confidence. I feel more aligned and have learned to find balance for myself. Another client said, the writing with a coach allowed me to process and reframe instead of ruminating and getting stalled out on having that conversation or completing that project. And one more client said, the work we did together helped me stop spinning my wheels, get out of my way, and take chances with more courage. Go to carlareeves.com and you can reach out to me. We can schedule a conversation. I would love to support you around this. In closing, as we wrap up this episode, I want you to remember that calming the mental noise is a powerful practice and skill that you can learn. And this can have a profound impact on every aspect of your life. By tending your mind, you create room for greater clarity, focus, and presence. You become better equipped to navigate challenges and pursue your dreams with confidence. Take some time this week to journal, empty your thoughts, plant new thoughts that align with who you are and what you're up to. Notice the ripple effect of this practice in your daily life. Remember, it's a journey, not a destination. Approach it with patience and kindness towards yourself and celebrate the small victories along the way. Thank you so much for tuning in to Differently today. Until next time, take that one step towards living with a calm mind. You can do this. Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode of Differently. I hope it stirred your thinking, and I invite you to take one inspired action from something that stood out to you. If you want to hear more conversations like this, be sure to hit follow on your favorite podcast app. And if this episode could impact someone you know, please help us spread the word and pass it along. Remember, new episodes drop weekly. See you next week.